هذه جبهة رايا.
On the Raya front line in southern Tigray, federal reinforcements arrive and helicopters hover above. The Ethiopian government has maintained that this is a law enforcement operation against what it calls a treasonous group.
Our morale is high. We're ready to enforce the rule of law for the sake of the fallen. We will prevail over those who had betrayed them. We have another mission, namely to safeguard the Renaissance Dam until it's fully completed and operational.
This building has been set up to receive fighters from the Tigray People's Liberation Front who've surrendered ahead of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's Wednesday deadline for the TPLF to put down its weapons. Government forces here say this man was among those who surrendered.
We are being treated well. We are not enemies. We are all fellow Ethiopians. We are all brothers. I hope this war will come to an end and peace prevail across the country.
As fighting continues in northern Ethiopia for a third consecutive week, the TPLF leader has reiterated his rejection of the ultimatum and says his fighters will continue their struggle against the federal government until the end. On the other side of the battlefield in Mekelle, the TPLF says it's standing its ground and that its fighters are ready to die defending Tigray and its right to govern itself. There are conflicting claims of victory on both sides, and a communication blackout in the region makes it difficult to verify information. But Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has said this operation will end when the TPLF, who he accuses of destabilizing the country and undermining his leadership, are brought to justice. Hassan Razak, Tigray Province in northern Ethiopia.
Let's get more on the latest developments from Malcolm Webb in Nairobi. So, Malcolm, the deadline has passed, 2.5 hours. Any idea of what might be happening now in Tigray?
There are no reports of fighting from Mekelle so far, and neither has there been any statement from the government about an offensive from the federal government in the capital, Addis Ababa. But the federal government and Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed had issued this ultimatum on Sunday. They gave Tigrayan forces 3 days to lay down their arms, and the government had said that its tanks and artillery had surrounded the city, that they were about 50 kilometers away and ready for this assault. But the Tigrayan military leadership had actually disputed these claims, and because the phone lines and the internet have been cut off for weeks and there's very little access to the area, it's very difficult to verify any of these claims and counterclaims. But what we have seen in satellite imagery is in the city of Mekelle, which is home to about 500,000 people. You can see queues of vehicles lining up at fuel stations, which would suggest that possibly there's rationing of fuel or a shortage of fuel, which could easily have resulted from the conflict and the insecurity on the roads connecting the city over the last 3 weeks.